Hello, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where last time Bobby and I were preparing to launch space stations, or a space station, into orbit. What was the first... Man, the... Nope. It was this thing. So trying to figure out what was the first part I added here, because every part I grabbed was not working right. So, I am building the essentially ascent stage here for this guy, and it's gonna be a lot of delta V because I tend to kind of go a little bit excessive when it comes to lifting bodies, so that I have plenty of leeway. And this is the design I've used a lot in my non-recording save file. It's kind of a bit of a weird design because you kind of have to build things a little bit strange to keep your tanks from essentially blowing themselves up. Right, so what we need here is we need another set of these big guys. Should be right about here, I think. Yep, that looks right.
6,400 delta V should be fine for me, right?
I would think so. I don't know how high you have to go.
It doesn't. Let's see here. Have a facility supporting at least 12 Kerbals. Check. Have a research lab. Got that. Maintain stability for 10 seconds. In orbit around Kerbin. It doesn't give these. I don't think. Let me just. No, I don't. No, these usually don't give any like orbit specific. So.
Sometimes they do, but. All right, so this is gonna be like this, and then we need.
Oh, I was gonna put RCS on this here.
Fuel lines flowing into this guy. So let's see. And this guy's actually going to be at the same time.
RCS is under control.
Which I think is going to be more than enough delta V. The other thing we want to do here is we want to take and add a couple extra batteries here. We want to add one extra battery, and we want to add the big reaction wheel, because this thing is big, really big, and
really big.
Yeah, and it's gonna be hard to turn. So okay, now we need to strut the crap out of this thing, because last thing we want is this thing falling apart on us. And this is definitely not an aerodynamic model in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, so where we left off last time, I was fucking struggling with the struts.
Alright, so we're going to take and we need to attach these struts somewhere. Let's attach them. There, maybe. Zoom in, and actually, I think we're going to get rid of those and grab something else here, maybe. Do we have the little girder thing? I don't think I do. Nope, doesn't look like it. Alright, so we actually need to offset here a little bit from so we can not hit. Alright, we need to go up as high as we can right here. Like that. And that should be fairly stable. Let's check that our staging is right. So these should be on the first stage. That drops. When this stage runs out, that drops. Then we activate this stage, and then everything else is done by manual decoupling and undocking and things like that. So, we're going to save this, and we pretty much have to wait for Bobby to get into orbit before we can launch this guy. So that's saved. Why don't we design...
let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to say 6400 Delta V is good enough to get into orbit.
Yeah, you should have plenty. I mean, I'm taking up about 6,900, but I'm also like, this thing is ridiculous. So, while Bobby's doing that and working on orbit, I am going to design the next part here.
Yes, and I have just recruited Jeb as my pilot. So let's just count slots here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Alright, so we're +1. My staging looks good. Got some batteries on there. Let's put this out on the launch pad.
So, let's see here. Let's design. We're going to start with, on this second part, we're going to start with some of these long modular girder segments. And, I mean, again, this is probably going to be like super amounts of overkill, but it's just going to be like a exercise in, hey, this looks kind of cool. So we are going to do something like, let's do 3 of these sections.
All right. My rocket is wobbling for some reason. Like it's got my rocket, the way it looks right now, kind of could use a fluffer a little bit. Anywho, so oh, you know what I don't have out? I do not have out my God damn it.
What?
Nothing. People are instant messaging me while I'm recording, or not in or whatever the Google equivalent of instant messaging is.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to do that. We need to put a docking port on here somewhere. Like so.
Yeah! The Kerbal Space Program wiki is down.
What do you need the wiki for?
For my limiting velocities. Oh well.
I'll say that's not really that necessary. Yes, it's really not.
All right.
200 meters per second at 7,000 is like the most important one.
All right, we've launched. Oh God. Really wish the rocket would stop wobbling. All right, good. We've stabilized. Good, sort of. Good job, Jeb.
So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna actually do this and attach a command pod right about here. Actually, right about here. All right, so command pod's gonna go there. Well, actually, we need some RCS fuel so we can actually return. So we'll grab one of these little RCS guys and this. And then we actually probably need to put some RCS actually on this whole thing. So the center mass is right about there. We're going to put 4 RCS guys there, and then we'll probably just put 4 right about there, and that's probably good enough. We need to attach a parachute. There we go. And so this is gonna be weird. And kind of probably wobbly. But it's not very heavy. So it should be fairly easy for us to get this actually into orbit, I would think. And meet it up with what we need to do. So if we put that there and we grab our 909. What's your problem?
I haven't hit orbit yet.
Are you relying on the autopilot?
A little bit.
You probably shouldn't do that. In my experience, it's not very reliable. Alright, so let's put that there. And then we need a decoupler. That's a really, really big decoupler. So decoupler. And then...
Well, the good news is I got pretty high up there.
What do you mean?
In terms of altitude. So,
okay.
What altitude do you want this at? What,
pick something. It doesn't matter.
All right.
Or whatever's. 100,000's probably good. Lower than that, it becomes It becomes harder to rendezvous with.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're already above 100 here. Let's circularize
so we're gonna put
out
that
my
on
orbit
there.
here.
Actually, we're probably gonna ditch this because I did just remember something that once you have these mega engines unlocked, it doesn't actually make sense to continue using the mainsail anymore because that mega engine has more thrust and higher ISP than the mainsail does.
Really?
Yep. So we're gonna put that guy there, and that in and of itself is like almost 7,000 delta V, which is more than enough. The only thing, we're gonna need lots of struts and maybe a little bit more monopropellant, just so we have a little bit more leeway. So let's grab some struts here and strut this bugger up. We will strut to that. Actually, let's grab these struts if we can, and we'll come to an angle here and strut to that, and then we will grab some more struts and do up to this guy, like right about there. Oh, that didn't work. How's the orbit coming?
Well, our apoapsis is at 380,000 meters.
Really high.
Yeah.
Why did you bring it up that high?
I didn't mean to. It kind of got up that high pretty quickly. So now I'm just trying to round it out and then drop it down once I get a apoapsis going here. Or a periapsis going here. I'm basically got this thing pointed, I got this rocket pointed dead 90 and working on rounding out the orbit here.
Alright, so we definitely need some more struts here. Just gotta try and get these on here somewhere meaningful.
Actually, it's pretty well equatorial, but and I've got
that didn't work.
The fuel here.
Hmm. We need to try and figure out where we can attach these struts and have them actually attach somewhere. Okay, so we can use, maybe if we do something like this, and then take some struts off of this, and it's going to be kind of a little bit weird and kind of messed up looking, but whatever gets it stable at this point. Because it's gonna wobble, and apparently that just doesn't work. That's weird.
Oh, well, I'm up this high. Extend solar panels.
So let's maybe here.
Solar panels.
I don't know if that's actually works. Probably doesn't. Let's go with that. All right. So these will be the solar panel section. Save. Let's load up our fueling segment. We need to check our crew. We do not want Anmon. We want Dudfred. Dudfred is our dude. Let's save, and let's go to the launch pad and see how this thing holds up.
Do you want a somewhat... I can see the advantage of a somewhat elliptical orbit. Maybe I'm just making up excuses. This is quite possible.
It doesn't have to be perfectly round, but as close to round as possible would be nice.
Alright. I can do that. Let's not F this up here.
Alright, we seem pretty stable here on the launch pad. We're gonna go back to the assembly building here, and we're just gonna do a little bit of extra stability. For a little bit of extra stability, we are going to add a launch assist tower, I think, if I can add it somewhere where it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, this isn't too bad for the first thing I have launched in probably since the last time I recorded. That's how busy I've been. So, 2 weeks?
I think that's probably alright.
Alright, so...
hopefully.
Let's advance time a little bit further here because I'm...
No, let's not get rid of that. We're better off not having that. Alright. So, save, and since we're still waiting on Bobby...
I'm almost here. Getting the periapsis. Get that periapsis up here to about... Let's give ourselves some fudge factor at 130 meters here. Alright, and then let's head on over to the periapsis. I should have completed... Oh yeah, I just got credit for the contract. So I'm like, where's my periapsis? So it should be... we're coming down here. Ah! Oh, that's fine. It doesn't need to be there. I just gotta... That's why I gave the periapsis some fudge factor.
I take it you're circularizing?
I am attempting to, yes. As soon as Jeb here, plants on retrograde.
You probably shouldn't rely on those guys a lot.
Do it all the time.
What's that?
I do it all the time. Maybe that's my problem.
It could be.
Yeah.
I tend to rely on them on like transfer burns and stuff, but I don't ever really use them much outside of that. I mean, a little bit, but if I have to if I'm coming out of time warp and have to move to aiming at something, I always move it there myself. You know?
Coming out of time warp is a problem here. Is it 120? 125? I really don't want that getting much lower. Time warp. Going around orbit. We run the risk of impacting a Jaeger Kerman who is perpetually trapped in space, even though you haven't gone through the debug menu and tried to get rid of him.
Yeah. I don't know. If I could see him, I would go get him, but he does not exist for me.
All right.
Looks like you're getting closer to a round orbit.
Mm-hmm. All right. Apoapsis is 270 kilometers.
I'm assuming you're probably using 909s to do your orbit.
I'm using Poodles, so yeah.
Okay, well, Poodle's not bad. Surprised it's not dropping faster.
I'm not maxed out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm using 1 tick to conserve fuel, and as I'm approaching periapsis here, or that I'm approaching my periapsis, I'm pretty close to my periapsis. I could, for the sake of YouTube, speed it up here. Drop it down. We're at 120, 180 kilometers. I lost my mouse. Let's drop this. I like this right at about here. 120 to 140. 140 and a half.
Yeah, that's not bad.
All right.
All right.
So, do you want me to release my final stage here?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Here we go. Ready, Jeb? She's a space station.
All right, so now I have to. Well, are you still piloting it?
I am, yes.
Okay.
Dun,
can you switch back to the tracking
Sorry.
station?
Sure.
Or just the Space Center, whatever.
I'm back here at the Space Center.
I am going to...
Oh, yeah, I got me some science.
I am going to fast forward a bit until this guy is in the right position. Alright, that'll do it for this episode. If you liked the video, click like and subscribe, and tune in next time for the exciting conclusion of our space station launch. Thanks for watching. Bye.